everyone, welcome to another episode of NinaRibena's Art Journal Prompts and More. It's week 2 of the spring prompt and I want to tackle my calendar page today. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I run a Facebook group called NinaRibena's Art Journal Prompts and More, and I hold monthly prompts, and we participate weekly and do a different take each week based on that monthly prompt. Some of us are working on a calendar page each month that we'll put towards creating a 2019 calendar, and as I say, that's what I want to work on today. Now my calendar page is postcard size, which is 6 inches by 4 inches, this size here, and today I want to work on my jelly plate, and I've been having a play already. I just want to create some really simple backgrounds that I want to work on, and I'm going to work on quite a few as well, and you know, I will speed through some of the process, otherwise this video is just going to be way too long. But you know, whilst I've got my jelly plate out, I might as well do more so that you know, I can create a few to give away in Happy Mail and that kind of thing. So I've got my jelly plate here, which is the 8 by 10 jelly plate. So I've got that stuck to my glass cutting mat, and I'm going to apply my paint onto this large acrylic stamp block as well, which I've just got on the reverse side of a chopping board just to cover up the mess that I've got going on my drop paper underneath, just so that you know the background isn't too busy for you. So I've got my postcard size pieces here, and this is just 300 GSM. I think it's 169 £69 for those of you in the US of cardstock, so quite a thick cardstock. I've also got a pile of scraps as well here, which are just the offcuts from these that I might use. I might not show you that, it depends. We'll see how it goes time wise, but I want to create this kind of thing here where I've just built up lots of layers of colours, and the colours I'm going to be using today, I've got the Amsterdam acrylic in sky blue light, the Amsterdam acrylic in turquoise green, and Liquitex Basics brilliant yellow green, and also white. And so if I show you those colours will make a bit more sense to you. And the reason I want to use my jelly plate is that I just want to build up random layers, and I just really like that unexpected texture that you get. All these prints have been done in exactly the same way. This was the first one I pulled, and you can see that I'd got my jelly plate was a bit dirty at the time, so I've pulled up whatever I was doing from my previous play session, but all of these have turned out different, and that's exactly what I want. They've all been done in exactly the same way, but each one is unique. So I'm just going to put this on to fast forward for you now, and I'll talk through exactly what I'm doing. I'm using a brayer to apply the paint, but as I say, I shall talk through what I'm doing as I go along. Now I'm applying my paint to the acrylic stamp block and then adding it to the jelly plate, just because I get a much thinner layer of paint applying it this way. And the first time I do this, I'm covering the whole of the jelly plate, but I scrap this idea because I find that the two cards that I create are just too similar, whereas I want all of mine to look different, and so I concentrate one at a time and just work on the middle part of the jelly plate, and this way you can actually see what I'm doing. So applying that deep green to start off with, then the lime green as my second layer, and just repeating that process again. I haven't bothered to clean my plate, I'm just going straight over the top, just building up those thin layers. And this is a technique I've learnt from Kate Crane. Kate Crane, in my opinion, is just the queen of the jelly plate. I just love the work that she does for jelly arts, absolutely fantastic, so go and check her out. This time going over with some white. And as I say, I just keep going over on different sheets of paper, just building up some colours. So you could see me play with the plate there, putting down the colour, and this is what I've ended up with, and they are all different, which is exactly what I wanted. I mean, all the colours are the same, but they're all very, very slightly different. And the only one that I don't like and that I'm not happy with is this one here. I don't like this harsh line in the middle. So what I shall do is put some more of the yellow green and just do another pull, do another layer just to get rid of that before I start building up the background. So I've got 8 of those plus the original 6 I made here. So we've got plenty to play with, 6 plus the mop-up card. And then these are the other mop-up cards I've got from where I was cleaning off the acrylic block. And I just love these as well. Just so pretty and just, you know, very, very random. And what I want to do now is just add some texture and pattern to the background. And I just want it to be very organic. And I'm using all homemade mark making tools. In fact, actually, I might even use the texture from a natural sponge as well. But I've got these. This was sent to me, I think it was in my concertina envelope at Christmas from Linda Cooper Pierce, so I'm going to use that. And I think that was from Linda as well. I've got no idea. That's obviously off some kind of packaging and I want to use that. No, it sent me this in Happy Mail, so I'm going to use that. This pattern on both sides, but I think I just want to use the dots here. I just want to keep it very, very simple. And I've also got a splatter guard as well that I picked up from the pound shop, which I thought would create quite a nice grid effect. Now, to get some decent texture on my backgrounds, I soon realised that I need to use a much heavier layer of paint. And the texture I get to start off with isn't all that great, but I soon learned to put down more paint and I achieved some really nice results. And here you'll see that I put a much thicker layer of the white down, which seems to do the trick. And I'm just using a piece of deli paper here to rub off the excess paint, and you'll see that I'm building up some lovely layers on that too. And now I start stamping with the texture tools, all of the ones that I've used already to apply to the jelly plate, and I again achieve some really nice effects. Okie dokie, let's have a go at decorating one of these postcards. I want to draw a blossom tree, and I'm going to be using some black Dylusions paint. I'm also going to be using the Amsterdam acrylics in Persian Rose, quinacridone rose and Venetian rose. So I put a dollop of each of those onto my little piece of craft mat, so I've got that there. And tools that I'm going to be using some baby wipes, which I've just rubbed the end with a little bit of Vaseline just to stop them fraying, or hopefully we'll see how that works. I've also got a fine water brush as well, and just a small paintbrush as well. Pro Art paintbrush here, just so you know, quite a small one, which I'm going to use. But I'm going to start by drawing my branch, so let's have a go at that. Now I've put some black Dylusions paint into the lid, and I've watered it down a little bit. I want this quite runny, so I'm just going to dip my water brush in there, and let's just see how I want to do this. Don't worry about this too much. Which way round do I want it to go? I think, no, go with my gut feeling. That was the original way round I had it. And I'm just going to draw a branch. There we are. You don't have to be too particular about this. And we'll have one going off there. And then maybe we can have another like that. And then I'm just going to fill this in a little bit and just neaten it up. So that's my basic shape. So as soon as I've done that, I should be back. And as I say, I'm just going over this just to fill in, because of course, you know, the texture in the background is quite coarse. It just takes a couple of coats just to fill in and make it solid. Okay, so that's my branch all ready, and now I'm going to start painting with my pinky finger. I'm going to dip it into the lighter colour of paint here, and what I'm going to do is just dab it down quite lightly, and you want to work from the outside and drag it in. Just keep moving your page around. Let me just move that out of the way, because I'm going to end up sort of getting my little card in there. And I just want to create some blossoms like this. So just working from the outside and pulling it into the centre. And it's important that you do that, because otherwise you just won't get the right kind of shape. So just plop your finger down and just drag it to the centre. That's all you're doing. Ever so easy. Anybody can do this. And let's have one here. And I'm using quite a bit of paint to do this. You know, I'm not skimping on the paint, because that's what adds the texture to your petals. I am in frame, aren't I? Yes. And it really is easier if you keep twisting your page. And I'm going to do a couple of different sizes of blossoms as well, but I want to do the larger ones first. There we are. And I think that will do for the time being. So let me just grab a wipe and wipe my finger, because what I want to do now is come in with the second colour of pink, and I don't want anywhere near as much paint this time. And I'm just going to repeat that and just add sort of a highlight of that darker colour on top of the light, and just look how pretty that looks. But you really don't need anywhere near as much paint when you're coming in with your darker colour. You could even do this with a lighter colour. You could go the reverse. You could even do it with white. It really doesn't matter. But I just think that 2 colours just adds dimension to your flowers and just looks really pretty. So I'm just going to continue doing this until I've done them all, and then we'll work on some smaller blossoms. So those are my larger blossoms finished, and I want to do some smaller ones now, and that's where the cotton bud comes in. So again, I'm using some of that lighter pink and adding it to my cotton bud, and I'm just going to do the same kind of process but just with the cotton bud. And so again, I want to add that darker pink, just using less paint this time. I just want to add some centres to the blossom, so I'm using the Venetian rose this time, and again I'm just going to use the cotton bud baby wipe just to add just a little tiny bit to the centre of the flowers. I continued on with my card, and I also finished a whole load of others as well. There's seven more of these. I'll show you them at the end. But what I want to do first is just add some highlights using a charcoal pencil. This is a 6B, which is quite soft, and I just want to add just a little bit of detail around the outside of the petals. Doing it really loosely, not pressing too hard, and being quite scribbly, loose and scribbly about it. And then I've got my trusty old blending stump that you've seen me use a lot recently, and I'm just going to smudge that out just to add just a little bit of highlight around the flower. I just love that look. Just brings it to life and just adds a bit of dimension. So I'm going to continue doing this to all of my cards, all of the petals on all of the cards. And then I need to have a think about what I want to do for a border. Right, I'm happy with that. That has just made a big difference. It just brings everything to life. And I want to use this Gelli roll pen. This is a metallic pen. I don't know what number it is. What colour it is. It's hashtag 524, but it's sort of a purple colour, and I just want to add just some glittery highlights to the centre of my flowers like this, and already I can see that that's just making a lovely difference. I love that. Oh, come on, jelly roll. So I'm just going over the centre of the flowers like this. It's the following day and all 8 of my cards are finally finished. There's been a bit of drying time in between, and because I've made 8 of them as well, it's taken me quite a few hours to finish these, but I'm just going to flick through them for you because they're all slightly different. I've used the Tim Holtz Small Talk to decorate all of my cards. This one here I outlined using a black Prima oil pastel. But then I reverted to archival ink for the others, primarily because the others are going to be sent out in Happy Mail, and this does smudge. I've had to use fixative, and you'll notice that in the bottom right hand corner I ended up smudging a bit more than I wanted to and had to do a bit of patching up, but you know, that's absolutely fine. There's always a way to correct things. So that's the one that's going to form my calendar page. Today is full of possibilities. Remember the now. It's the little things that make life big. Make today count. Now the background of this one here was just one that I tried using some grey, and actually at first I didn't like the background, but now that I've got my blossoms on, it's really grungy and I love this. It hasn't got any of the background detail in it. This is just really plain, but I like that. Then I did a couple using a white gel pen to outline the flowers, and I love those. I think those are soft and pretty, so let life surprise you and collect beautiful moments. And then I outlined the flowers of the last 2 with a Staedtler Triplus fine liner, so it's just a really fine tip fine liner. So today is a good day and be brave with your life. So I hope you like my spring calendar page. I just love blossom, and at this time of year normally my garden is full of blossom. We've got about 5 or 6 cherry trees in our garden that are normally sort of in full bloom by now, but because it's been so cold here, not just in the UK, I think it's been the same everywhere, it's been a very long winter, that they're only just coming into bud, but very soon they'll look very much like this. So, you know, very reminiscent of spring to me. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it was a bit long-winded because of all the jelly printing, but for any of you out there that completely overthink your backgrounds, I would highly recommend a jelly plate, whether you buy one or make your own. They're definitely coming down in price because there's more on the market now. But they're very random. You never know what you're going to end up with, and it takes that overthinking away from things. I just love mine, and I really must use it more often. So if you enjoyed that, as always, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, because it just lets YouTube know that you like what I'm doing, and let me know what you think in the comments below. For one, I love to hear what you've got to say, and secondly, I like to know who's watching. So take care, everyone. I look forward to seeing what everybody else decides to come up with for week 2 of the spring prompt, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.